Hey there, Chief Meteorologist Nick Jansen. Good Wednesday afternoon, taping this at just after 4 p.m. Central Time. What we're looking at here, the next big thing that we're tracking is some big changes in terms of our temperatures on the way for next week. The final couple days of June and then into the first couple days of July looking pretty hot. So feel like temperatures, notice all the pink across the map here. Anywhere in pink, that is where you could see our feel like temperatures ranging anywhere from 90 to 100 degrees. That's just kind of a snapshot of what Monday, June 29th could look like. So we're focusing on the 29th of June all the way through July 3rd, and we'll also get a sneak peek at what the 4th of July could look like this year too in southern Minnesota. So looking at those risk of hazards, this is from the Climate Prediction Center. There's a slight risk of those dangerous type temperatures for areas that are highlighted here by that orange dotted line. So that includes southern Minnesota and northern Iowa, and a lot of the upper Midwest through the I-94 corridor, and then pretty much all of Wisconsin. As we look here, moderate risk of those dangerous temperatures, that heat risk here, moderate risk through the plains and then most of the Midwest, and then notice through Illinois and then into the Ohio River Valley, we are looking at a high risk of extreme heat. So almost a heat dome setting up across most of the region. And I kind of just joked a couple days ago that, it really hasn't been that hot this summer. Well, we are getting a blast of really hot and humid air for maybe about a week to even a week and a half straight. And obviously it is summer and we're heading towards early July, so it's typical this time of year that you get some upper 80s and low 90s, but the problem will be those feel-like temperatures maybe approaching 100 in some of those days. So just looking at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, you can see the darkest area here is just out to our east. So that is a 90% plus of looking at above average type temperature conditions. We are in the next red area there. That would be 80 to 90% for June 3rd all the way through the 4th of July. And I do think the 4th of July is well above average for highs. We look all the way through July 8th then, still an 80 to 90% chance at above average temperatures, and I'll kind of circle it here. So this is the region that could easily see above average temperatures all the way through the first 8 days of July. So definitely a heat dome setting up for a lot of the central and getting into the eastern portion of the country. Really the only portion of the lower 48 that is maybe at or below average would be from San Francisco to Medford to Seattle. So kind of that northwestern Pacific coast is where we're looking at maybe just some average type temperatures starting off July. So next week, the first alert, I haven't issued alert days yet. Would not be surprised, or don't be surprised when there are some alert days next week. Just kind of pinpoint when we will see our highest heat indices coming up next week. But there's our highs, 92, 90, 89, 88, 88 again on Friday. So some really warm temperatures, and we could easily have maybe 5 straight days in the 90s for some locations in southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. So here's just kind of a look at heat index values. So what you want to focus on here is when the color, the contour, when that changes to pink, that is when we're up over 90 degrees for the heat index value. So we could get close to that on Sunday. Monday, definitely across pretty much all of the upper Midwest, we're above 90 degrees for that heat index. By Tuesday afternoon, I think there's a good chance 88 to maybe 92 degrees for the feel-like temperature. By Wednesday afternoon, again, we're in the 90s. Thursday, you guessed it, right back into the 90s for the feel-like temperature. And once again on Friday. So like I said, we could maybe have 5 to even 6 straight days with those heat indices reaching above that 90-degree mark. 4th of July outlook, looking nice, dry for the most part. 87 right now for the high is what we have. Again, we're still 10 days out, but a sneak peek at the 4th of July for the holiday. 94, the heat index, the max heat index for the afternoon in Rochester. And then into the evening, we could have maybe a few thunderstorm chances. That's really looking after about midnight. So I don't think that impacts. Obviously, a lot will change by not this Saturday, but the following Saturday for the 4th of July. So maybe some thunderstorm activity well after sunset, well after fireworks. I just have a 20% chance of rain with a low of 65 degrees. We look at your 10-day forecast, really comfortable conditions Thursday and Friday, so soak up the non-humid weather that we have for Thursday and Friday. Saturday's pretty nice, low 80s with some sunshine. A few thunderstorms possible late Saturday into Sunday, and then Sunday kind of kicks off the warmth, 87, and then we rattle off those upper 80s and low 90s Monday all the way through the next weekend, which is the 4th of July on that following Saturday. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button as we'll continue to keep you guys safe ahead and behind all the active weather.